Now, tributes continue to pour in for the exiled Zimbabwean opposition leader Roy Bennett, who was killed in a helicopter crash in a remote part of the United States, state of New Mexico.
His MDC party has described Bennet as a resolute and committed fighter for democratic change in Zimbabwe. The party added that Bennet was a charismatic grassroots politician and successful farmer on the country's eastern Chimanimani District. The crash of the private Huey helicopter in rugged terrain near Raton in New Mexico killed Bennet along with his wife and 4 other people. 1 person survived the crash. Bennet, a former Treasurer General of the opposition MDC party, was an important figure in Zimbabwean politics and served time in prison under former President Robert Mugabe.
He recently told CNN that his country would never again let itself be ruled by a dictatorship. Right, for more on the sad death of a Zimbabwean political stalwart, Roy Bennett, and his wife, joining us on the line is the Deputy President for the Movement of Democratic Change in Zimbabwe, Nelson Chamisa. Mr. Chamisa, thank you for being with us. Firstly, what are your personal reflections on Roy Bennett?
Very devastated, very disturbed, and, we can't even imagine that life would be the same without our stalwart, Roy Bennett, together with the wife. This is a couple that has been so committed to democratic change, to the democratic struggle. We feel that the new Zimbabwe is almost around the corner with the elections coming. We're having our last mile, and in this last mile we then lose such an important figure who has been instrumental in this democratic fight, instrumental in human resourcing, instrumental in material resourcing, but also instrumental in intellectual support and the commitment to the struggle, the sacrifice to the struggle. Mr. Bennett was many things to many people. He lost everything. He lost his farm. He lost even friends because of his commitment to this democratic change. He was a brave soldier, a brave Democrat, and of course, a very heroic and courageous man who stood toe to toe and shoulder to shoulder with dictatorship in Zimbabwe.
It might be a surprise to some that a white farmer was so integral in the movement for democratic change, in the push for change. Was he seen as an outsider or accepted by the party?
Well, Roy Bennett is the sort of model Democrat who would tell you that the skin color is not what matters, but what matters is the color of your heart, the color of your commitment, the color of your attitude, and the color of your conviction to building a better Zimbabwe. He transcended issues of race, he transcended issues of color, he transcended issues of tribe, and this is why he was very popular among the people. He was voted for in all the positions within the party and even in parliament on account of what he did for the people, not just what he said. So you'll be remembered more for what he did for Zimbabweans, what he did for many people. He was indeed a hero. You go to Manicaland, which is the province he comes from. People are mourning in thousands. They are asking how we are going to arrange for the burial so that they are able to pay their last respect because of the kind of commitment Roy Bennett gave to this country. He was passionate about love. He loved even his opponents. He loved even those in ZANU-PF because he didn't see enemies. He saw competitors. And that is the kind of new politics that we want to see. That's what Roy Bennett represented. He was an ambassador of the new ideas, the big idea of an alternative mindset. So we don't interact at the level of skin color, but we interact at the level of the color of conviction to building a nation.
Very quickly, what are the arrangements? How will the MDC be marking his passing?
Well, of course, we're going to have memorial lectures. We're also going to have our memorial programs, church services, just to remember Roy Bennett. But we await directions from the family so that we do something that is consolidated between ourselves as a party and the family. You know that Mr. Bennett had his own family, but the MDC had become part of the family. So we want to give our best shot in honoring his lifetime commitment, achievement, as we celebrate his life. It's something that has come as a surprise, But all the same, we need to celebrate the kind of output Roy Bennett gave to this struggle. He gave a lot of effort, he gave a lot of energy into it, time, money, everything. He lost everything, literally everything. For those who have managed to bear the worst scars, the worst suffering, the worst pain, I think Roy Bennett is in the top class.
Mr. Chamisa, final question. His death comes after a momentous shift in the political landscape in Zimbabwe. We'll have to wait to see how that pans out. But what about the MDC itself? Morgan Tsvangirai getting treatment here in Johannesburg. If I remember correctly, he's indicated he may have to bow out of politics. What does that mean for the opposition heading towards elections?
We all know that sickness is not death. So President Tsvangirai has not been well, he's recuperating, he's recovering, and we are happy and optimistic that he will be able to be back to lead and to be the best foot forward that he has always been. Because 2018 is such a momentous year, it's a turning point, and we want to make sure that we exploit every opportunity for the benefit of Zimbabweans to have a fighting chance and also win in the elections that are going to come. It's going to be a resounding victory for the opposition as an alternative. So we are making sure that we put our ducks in a row. We have all our ducks in a row in terms of just making sure President Tsvangirai is well and back in form. And of course, we are lining up our ducks in terms of resources, in terms of human resources, our candidate selection. We are already ready with the candidates. We are rolling out our programs this weekend. We have a big MDC Alliance rally that's happening in Harare, and we're going to roll out to all the other provinces. So, yes, the juggernaut is rolling, and the campaign has begun. President Tsvangirai will come and join us, but if he is not, in a position to then move forward, we are also sufficiently, wired with inbuilt capacity to deal with such an unlikely and unexpected eventuality.
All right, thank you so much for your time this evening. The Deputy President of the Opposition Movement for Democratic Change, the MDC in Zimbabwe, Nelson Chamisa.